Well, the Head Games album had really good songs on it, and we thought we had the right producer in Roy Thomas, but he seemed very distracted, like his mind was someplace else. I think he had another album lined up to produce, and we didn't feel he was completely with us in our work, and we expected the Roy Thomas Baker sound and everything that would have went real good with the music we had. We also thought that he was going to help us finish some songs. We had great ideas on about four, maybe five songs, and we didn't have time to completely finish them because we had to get in the studio. So when it came time to work on those songs, we were playing the songs and playing demos and stuff like that, waiting for Roy to say, "Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you end it like this?" And he would just sit there and he'd be like this, and Roy, what do you think? Yeah, it's good. It's good. Well, it needs a little something here. Any ideas? No, no, you guys take care of that. And needless to say, we were disappointed, and the clock was ticking because we had to get the album out. So we finished the album, but I would say there's about three songs that could have been a lot better than what they were, but we just didn't have time to finish them. We ran out of time, we ran out of our budget. So we released the album, and it did well, but it did less than half of what Double Vision did.
Mhm.
It didn't get good reviews, and because the album cover was a little suggestive, and the first single was Dirty White Boy, and the second single was Head Games. Uh, um, there started to be quite a few rock radio stations that refused to play it. Uh, um, and we were in my local paper in Rochester. There was a huge picture on the front cover, showing a big bonfire and people throwing their Foreigner albums in it. We were stunned, and they were saying that our songs and our visual presentation of the cover was hideous and suggestive, particularly to younger teens and stuff like that. And what's the big station in Boston? Is it I can't remember what it is, but MMR in Cleveland, a lot of big stations in NEW in New York, they banned us. We got no airplay on a lot of the big stations, and the album, after two singles, the record company called us in and said, "We're up against a brick wall. We can't spend good money to get no results. Let's just pull back and work on another album." So we did, but the ideas we had for the new album were 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 pretty different from what we had made to that point. And although the guys were good players, a lot of them were good in the one vein that we had been playing in. And when we tried to write new songs and kind of change our direction a little bit, they were still playing the same things they played for the last 6 years, and we couldn't get them to, I don't know if to open their mind or let their creativity take over. And Mick and I would after writing sessions and rehearsals and stuff, we would just meet and have a couple of drinks and talk about what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We can't afford to have another album like Head Games, or we'll be looking for a label too, you know. And so after we just decided to make that move. Trying to think who we let go.
It was Ian and Al, I think it was.
Ian and Al, yes, that's right. And that was one of the worst moments of my life because they were good friends and very good players, and they didn't see it coming either.
Was that something you did face to face? Was it a sit down conversation?
Oh
Because that sounds
yes,
like it's a very,
absolutely.
very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, it was very difficult to do, and we, we were trying our best to tell them how we felt and what we needed, and they couldn't deliver. They would come up with things that almost sounded like 2 albums ago. So we were trying to move away from that, keeping our foreigner sensibilities, but shifting the music to a different path, and they just couldn't follow us.